he showed great heart, and it was a great performance. Now the dynamic is fascinating, right? Callum Smith is the mandatory for Artur Beterbiev, right? With no exceptions. You know, Dmitry Bivol has wanted that Beterbiev fight for a long time. You see in the build-up to fights, people start saying, yeah, we want the undisputed fight. No one's, now they've got the energy. Let's see if they've got the same energy now, because Dmitry Bivol is ready to fight Beterbiev. It's probably one of the biggest fights in boxing. But also, Canelo Alvarez wants to fight Dmitry Bivol for undisputed at 168. So Bivol's in a great position, right? You know, Callum Smith, for me, I would like to see Callum Smith against Beterbiev, probably at Anfield, the big Liverpool stadium in early summer after Ramadan. Dmitry Bivol perhaps against Joshua Buatsi in the spring. Then Bivol fight Canelo at 168 for undisputed, and then straight away fight Beterbiev for undisputed, or Callum Smith at 175 as well. So,
what's good, family? It's your man, the YB, back once again. So, we just heard there from Eddie Hearn. Now, it's a bit all over the place, truth be known. The quotes, which I read in the boxing scene article, said, Eddie Hearn says Bivol's gagging for the undisputed fight, which, by the way, I believe he is. But then Eddie Hearn then says, yeah, we're gagging for... In fact, no, he said, yeah, we're gagging for the undisputed fight. And then he actually put out a semi-diss. He said, oh, yeah, other people talk about the undisputed fight, but then we don't really hear anything about it. In fact, let me replay it, just in case you might think I'm capping.
Was it better? Was it...
Can really fight, you know, but he now the dynamic is fascinating, right? Callum Smith is the mandatory for Artur Beterbiev, right? With no exceptions. You know, Dmitry Bivol has wanted that Beterbiev fight for a long time. You see in the build-up to fights, people start saying, yeah, we want the undisputed fight. No one's, now they've got the energy. Let's see if they've got the same energy now, because Dmitry Bivol is ready to fight Beterbiev. It's probably one of the biggest fights in boxing.
So, my point is, Eddie essentially is throwing a snub out there. Yeah, people woof about wanting an undisputed fight, but essentially when it comes down to it, they don't want it. But then, in the next breath, so on that basis, you'd assume Bivol is begging for the Beterbiev fight right now. Yeah? And then next breath he says, well, actually, Bivol versus Buatsi. Where do they find that guy at? Bivol versus Buatsi and Beterbiev versus Callum Smith. And then he throws in Bivol versus Canelo. Do you know what I'm saying? No word of a lie. Listen, Eddie says, essentially, Beterbiev's ducking the undisputed fight. And then he goes on to reel off 3 of Bivol's next fights. Buatsi first, then Canelo, and then Beterbiev. That's going to be about 18 months away. Isn't it though? Let's be real now. Beterbiev just fought. So it's going to be 6 months. Sorry, Bivol hasn't fought for a while, but either way, 3 fights is about 18 months, isn't it? 6 months apart, 18 months. You just said that, and I believe Bivol's begging for it, but this whole weird shtick, and the problem is, you see, Beterbiev's a 3-belt champion. So I think what Eddie Hearn meant to say was, Eddie Hearn should have dropped the whole people don't want the undisputed fight, because Beterbiev isn't in a position, although no, he is. I was about to say Beterbiev isn't in a position to have an undisputed fight, because Eddie Hearn made clear, there's no doubt about it, Beterbiev must fight Callum Smith next. But then I just realised, undisputed trumps mandatories. Undisputed supersedes mandatory claims. That's the legal verbiage that's always flung out there. And it's not like, with all due respect, it's not like Beterbiev's ducking challenges. Beterbiev just smoked on Anthony Yardpack. Now, whether you believe Callum Smith's more dangerous or not is almost irrelevant, because end of the day, Beterbiev ain't got no problem fighting bulls. And neither has Bivol. Bivol has punched up Zerdo and punched up Canelo. So he ain't got no... These guys, of all the guys out there, yeah, for example, Tyson Fury, he should be ordered to jump in there undisputed now, because he's playing around fighting people like Chisora, washed up E-level dudes. But these Bivol and Beterbiev guys, they smoking on the best pack available anyway. Do you understand? So for people who are actually out there smoking on the best pack, yeah, the governing body should say undisputed now. Why wait? It's not like, again, let's say for example Beterbiev or Bivol or both of them. I mean, there's some divisions. I'm I'm trying to think of a division. But there's some divisions where you've got champions just hanging around fighting bumps all the time. In them divisions, you know what I'm saying? Them man shouldn't get a choice what they have to do. But people like Beterbiev and Bivol, they ain't out here fighting bums. So on that basis, yeah, let Beterbiev and Bivol fight undisputed now. Callum Smith can wait. That's what the governing body should be saying. Now, if it was the case that Bivol or Beterbiev was fighting random scrubs, I'd get why they might have reservations to try and help these guys out. But these guys are fighting killers anyway. So it's not like Callum Smith or any mandatory is going to have a problem. I'm trying to think of the example I'm trying to give, but for example, in heavyweight division right now, yeah, there has been some claims. You've got Usyk with 3 belts, and who was it? Hergovic has got a claim. There's a few man. Joe Joyce has got a claim, but even Usyk just fought AJ twice. So these guys they're fighting top guys. So the governing body shouldn't have a problem letting the mandatory sit down. And to be quite honest with you, Callum Smith is mandatory. What's he done at 175? With all due respect, what's he done? You know what I mean? I'm not with this, and I've seen it a lot. People who ain't done nothing. Listen, I like Anthony Yarde, yeah, but what had he done to get a mandatory shot? What has Callum Smith done to potentially get in the way of an undisputed fight? In fact, right now, Eddie Hearn's just said Bivol versus Buatsi. Callum Smith versus Beterbiev. That's essentially what he says is next. Based on what? Yeah? Beterbiev just smoked on Anthony Yarde pack, who in my opinion is better than Buatsi or probably as good as Callum Smith. And Bivol just smoked on Zerdo's pack, who is as good as Buatsi, if not better. So these guys have already proven themselves. Why they got to fight, be bogged down with these random ass mandatories? Let Beterbiev and Bivol fight each other now. If anything, if I was the governing bodies, I'd say, listen, Callum Smith, you ain't done nothing at 175. Buatsi, you definitely ain't done nothing at 175. You two get together, and then we have a clear winner, or we have a clear challenger then, for the Beterbiev versus Bivol winner. I'm sick to death, and I see it a lot. Or I see it, in fact, the whole time. I'm sick to death, yeah, of mandatories and belt holders who have fought no one. People like Billy Joe Saunders, even people like Caleb Plant. Fair play to Caleb. Caleb has finally fought someone, or is finally about to fight someone in Benavidez. Fair play to the guy. But he never should have fought Canelo. The Benavidez fight, yeah, Benavidez versus Canelo. Sorry, Benavidez versus Plant. That should have happened. People like Billy Joe, how did they get belts? You know what I mean? It's all a bit odd. There needs to be a proper system in place. And I think a lot of the issue is the belts, they don't work together. So it means you have these silos. And because there's so many belts, really, yeah, that's why the UFC is so great. The UFC is so great. Imagine, yeah, if you watered down the UFC 4 times. Imagine how thin the levels would be. And that's what we have now in boxing. That's why Billy Joe was able to nick a belt. Because you've got 4 levels and you can sort of tactically, there's a weak one there. There's a vacant belt there. There should be 1 belt, maybe 2. The only reason I say 2 is because then we get the anticipation of the undisputed fight. But there should never be more than 2 belts. And in the UFC, they've done that before as well. And it does build a good hype when you've got the interim champion. Because you don't know then, do you? Who's the real champ? Interim versus whoever, the other champion. Versus the long-time reigning champion. That's good. That builds a narrative. We have 2 champs coming together. But this whole business of having 4 belts is ridiculous. And even 3's ridiculous. It does nothing but water down the sport. And it makes me wonder, who's in charge? And that's the problem, you see. No one's in charge of boxing. These governing bodies, essentially, just another private company. There should be, I'm not someone who's desperate for government regulation, yeah, but there should be governments involved. It's a bit like the Olympics, in my opinion. Yeah, in the Olympics, you don't have 5 governing bodies within a country. In the Olympics, you have Team GB, you have Team USA. That's how it should be. I don't understand that. Why is it the Olympics gets it right? There should be, for example, in the USA, there should be, or in the world as a whole, there should be one world champion. All countries agree. We have one boxing league. But I guess that gets in the way of the free market as such. But still, if I had some sort of magic wand, that's what I'll be doing. There's one boxing league. Work it out. Who's the best? All this rubbish of... I mean, we've got the IBO belt now as a 5th belt. It's ridiculous. And you can see 60 years, 70, 80 years ago, there was one. I don't know who puts these guys on, you see. But what happens is, it's lower, lesser able fighters who bring belts into... Because, the real champion, the real best boxer, he has the original belt, the WBA or the WBC. I'm talking historically. But then these new ones, like I'm pretty sure, I think Nigel Bennett might have been. It was Nigel Bennett or Chris Eubank who made the WBO popular. At the time, Eubank, or I'm not sure who it was Nigel Bennett or Eubank. At the time, Nigel Bennett or Eubank, they weren't the champion level. There was some other dude with a real belt, the WBA or WBC. And then the WBO got with Chris Eubank or Nigel Bennett and said, listen, you're not a real champion. Why don't you come and fight for my belt? And we've seen it with Chris Eubank Jr. and the IBO. They try and cling on to a name, and it's just whack, man. Whack. It's a real shame that them things even were possible. It should be the WBA and WBC. Everyone else kick rocks. And I'm not even a massive fan of WBC. They're moving super shady. But anyway, Beterbiev and Bivol, I ain't trying to hear about Buatsi. I ain't trying to hear about Callum Smith. Especially not when Eddie's out here. Eddie manages Callum Smith, I think. And Buatsi. But my point is, Eddie's out here throwing shade. Oh yeah, everyone talks about Undisputed. Bivol wants it. But do they really want it? Don't woof about that. And then in the next breath, talk about how you want Buatsi and Callum Smith to fight. No, get out of it. Mate, do what you said you want to do. Eddie Hearn should be on the blower right now to the governing bodies saying we want to execute the Undisputed supersedes mandatories. That's what you should be saying. And I'm hoping Beterbiev's team are doing that now. Because why would Beterbiev want to fight Callum Smith? Why would Beterbiev want another hard fight for nothing, essentially? It's not like Callum Smith is Canelo. Beterbiev, and it's not like Beterbiev's 31 years old. Beterbiev's 38 years old. I don't want Beterbiev to have another hard fight. I want this really... That last fight against Yard was a semi-hard fight. We don't know at 38 years old how much these are taken out of him. Really, I think the Bivol fight should have been before the Yard fight. That's when it should have been. And I'm not sure what's been going on since, because the Yard fight was a mandatory. So I don't know why. What's taken? Oh no, that was it. Beterbiev beat Joe Smith for a belt. That's what happened. And it was in that meantime, Yard became mandatory. So Beterbiev couldn't fight Bivol yet because he didn't have all the belts. So either way, Beterbiev has satisfied all of his immediate mandatories. Essentially, he should get that. But then again, I'm not sure because I think the Callum Smith fight's been ordered officially, which would mean they'd have to backtrack. Although, in the heavyweight division, they did that because the Hrgovic fight was officially ordered with Usyk. And then somehow, some way, obviously we got Fury and Usyk is being negotiated now. So either way, I don't want to see Beterbiev. Well, it's a good fight. Beterbiev versus Smith is a good fight, but it's not worth. I want to see Beterbiev versus Bivol be the best it can be, and I do think Callum Smith can take something from Beterbiev. I don't think he wins the fight, but I can see that being a tough fight. And he ain't getting no younger. And I already have Bivol with the edge. Bivol's only 31. Bivol hasn't taken no damage. I do have Bivol with the edge already. So we don't need the scales to be more in Bivol's favour at this point. I want Beterbiev as dangerous as possible. And I think Callum Smith might take even more of an edge off him. I think Anthony Yard hasn't taken much from Beterbiev, but he did take... Beterbiev, in my opinion, has left a little bit of something in the ring with Anthony Yard. I can't say how much or how little, but there's something. He won't be as strong as he would have been. And he'll be even weaker after the Callum Smith fight. So get this, Beterbiev's team, yeah, you, man, should be desperate for this Undisputed fight. You should be doing what you can. I haven't even heard from Beterbiev's team pushing for Undisputed. I'm talking legally. Trying to get that whole supersede thing in action. They should have, that's what I mean. They should have been on that. They should have been on. Listen, never mind Callum Smith. We want Undisputed set up ASAP. I don't know what they'd be doing. It's weird. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell 100%.